All right, good morning and welcome to our webinar on the Aimy's Oscar Batch Creator. So the idea with this feature is we've created it to save you time when it comes to scheduling payments that you get from WINS, and just to make the whole process a lot easier for you in allocating payments from WINS to invoices and to parents, all right? So what we're going to do here is I will share with you my Google Chrome here. So where we are now is under Finance. We have these two features here, so subsidy acceptance and batch creator. Now the idea with this is that the batch creator is where we will be creating what we call Oscar batches. So this is where we take the information from our schedule that we get from WINS, the payment schedule, and we then use those details into those records, and it will allocate payments for us. But the first step in this process will be to use the subsidy acceptance. So if we click on that. Now the idea with the subsidy acceptance is any time that you get a parent who is approved for Oscar subsidy, we will just click Add New Subsidy Approval. We will click on the client's name. And as you see here, it'll pull through the parent's name automatically. If they have a WINS number and a SWIN number that's entered in registration, that will pull through, and the subsidy start and end dates we can actually adjust here. All right, is it a weekly payment? We're going to select yes. Hourly rate, $4 an hour. Say they get 20 hours of subsidy, and it will automatically work out that the amount per week is $80 an hour. All right, so if we click save there, what it will do is if we go down the page and find her, we can see that Annie is now added to the list of subsidy acceptances in the site. If you have multi-site, you can use the drop down to access other sites. And we also have a list of inactive subsidies. So these are subsidies that were once in the active subsidies, but we've actually just disabled them because they're no longer eligible for the subsidy anymore. So once we have someone entered into the subsidy acceptance, we can then start to use them in the batch creator. Now, not only is this a great place to take notes of who currently has a subsidy in the system, but we can use it for the batch creator here, all right? So if we pop into the batch creator, again under finance, you'll see that we come to a screen here which starts to ask us for our payment schedule details. So the batch creator essentially takes the bulk payment that you get from work and income, and you then enter all the records in the schedule you get from work and income. And the idea is that the payment is then split up automatically based on that bulk payment is split up automatically based on the records that you enter into this system according to your payment schedule, all right? So if we go attendance from, so we're just going to go to, we'll just put 2 weeks in here, and payment date, we'll just put the 1st. Subsidy total, say our subsidy schedule has $106 on it. All right, and then what we will do is we will look down that schedule and start to input names of children that are on that. So first one we're going to enter here is Oliver. We'll add him. Next one is Mariah. We'll add her. And the last one that we will add is Nichelle. All right, so what we've now got is a list of 3 children that are added to the system. You can see based on what details have been entered in subsidy acceptance before on that previous page, it has then pulled through the amount that they should get. And then we've come to a total based on the total amounts there, all right? So what we can do here is we will click edit beside a record. And now we've given the option to select which invoice to put the payment against. So for instance here, maybe invoice 75 is the one that we want to put against Oliver's payment against. And that means as soon as we hit that one and update, when we send this through to Xero, that payment of $10 will be assigned to that invoice automatically. It means that you don't have to allocate payments in Xero or in the invoice manager. It means that they will automatically allocate for you, all right? Same with this one for Molly. We'll select an invoice. So let's just say it's invoice 161, that's the relevant invoice. We will then click update. Now, if you want to edit the amount, say for instance, they get a different amount to what you have entered in the subsidy acceptance, you do have the ability to change that. We're going to keep that the same. And again, just select one of the invoices here that is already in zero, all right? Now, the idea with this one is that as soon as you have $106 was the amount that was totaled in our schedule from wins, here we have 106. The only way that you will be able to click send to zero is if those amounts match up. All right, so you need to ensure that you have the correct amounts on in the system, otherwise it won't actually allow you to process. Now, if you use zero, the way it will work is it will assign these payments. So they will assign these as payments to the individual invoice. So for here, Oliver, the invoice number 75 will have $10 allocated to it as a payment. Now that will show in the parent portal as the total amount against that invoice being reduced. So that invoice there, invoice 75, has it's a total amount of 188, due 188. The way it will show in the parent portal after we send to zero is it will show total amount 188, due 178. Because that $10 has been taken off from win. So that will, the difference will pull through into the parent portal if you have linked with zero. If you aren't linked with zero and you're instead using our Aimy's invoice manager, you will then, the way it will show is it will actually show as a wins payment. So not only will it show the difference, but it will actually show that it is a wins payment there. And that's something we're actually looking at doing for zero as well soon. We are looking to show those payments in the parent portal as wins payments. At the moment, it doesn't show that they are from wins, but it does still show the difference there for them so that they're not, they can see if they've paid an amount and the amount outstanding left for wins to pay. As soon as that's paid off, it will actually show in their parent portal. All right. Now, there's a couple of scenarios that you may encounter when using this, so we'll run over those quickly. The first scenario you may encounter is if there are two records of the same child on the same schedule. So we know this does happen when 1 week a child may not be included in the schedule, and the next week they may be included twice. There have been counts of this. So in this case, for instance, say Oliver's payment comes, so he's not on the first week, but instead he's twice in the next schedule. We will just go to Oliver's name. We will add him again to the system, and then we will select the relevant invoice there and update. So as you can see there, we've got Oliver twice on this list now, and when we send to zero, that will show twice there. All right. And then the other scenario you may encounter is that you have no invoice generated for this child or parent currently in your system. So this will work perfectly, as I've shown you, if we have these invoices that are created in our accounting systems. If we don't have these invoices generated yet, say they haven't, based on your settings in Aimy, you've got the payment, but you generate the invoices later. The way that you actually can get around this is if we click edit here and we set it to overpayment. So that's actually the default when you load a child. So if I pull through another child here, let's just try Kayla here. If I add Kayla to the list, where's she gone? Oh, she's there. All right, so Kayla is now shown on the bottom of the list here. If I click edit, she has invoices, but there will be the case, and we do have them in the system as well, where you have children who don't have invoices. Let me try find one quickly for you. Let's try Jack Curtis. All right, edit here. Okay, so you can see here Jack doesn't have any invoices, so when we scroll, it doesn't reveal any invoices that are currently in the system. we can set it as overpayment and click update. So what that will do is as soon as we have it as overpayment, when we send it through to Xero, it will actually generate in Xero as an overpayment. So what that will then say is it says the parents, and it will be attached to the parent profile to say the parent has got this payment that is owing to them. What you can then do is when we have the invoice for this, you'll then go back and attach it to the invoice. So we're just saying that the amount against the parent, we've got some extra financial value against the parent without an invoice to attach it to. So it's the overpayment remains with the parent up until the point that you have a generated invoice. Then you can then allocate that overpayment to that relevant invoice. Okay. All right. So I mean it's a quick tutorial on how to use this feature. Again, once you're finished with it, click send to Xero. I've got a question here that I'll answer. What do you do if you receive an amount on your bank statement of $1,000, but your statement has, say, $850 to allocate? What do you do with the addition $150 on the bank statement?